Hello, Brigadiers, and welcome to the March 29th, 2022 occurrence of the Brigade Community Meeting. In a first, today we actually have no attendees. I'm going to record a brief update on the project anyway, and post this to YouTube later, as I do with all of the meetings, even when they do have attendees. I think our lack of attendance today is probably due to I'm aware of a few maintainers who messaged me and said they couldn't make it. Some of them are actually up in the air right now. And also, for those who aren't aware, alternating occurrences of this meeting happen at different times. What we're trying to do is accommodate both people in US time zones and in other international time zones, particularly Brazil and Australia. So this is the occurrence for the month of March that is meant to accommodate people in the US, and that is mostly maintainers who, as I said, have some conflicts. So I'll share my screen and we'll quickly go over the very short agenda that we had for today. So here we go. I'll bump up the size of this text a little bit. As I said, short agenda for today, quick update on the community. We're continuing to see new contributors arrive, which has been fantastic. The more the merrier. And we've been seeing some really good work, really good contributions from new people who are showing up, mostly on the dashboard. But we also do have a few others who have shown up and made contributions to Brigade itself, which has been absolutely fantastic. We're finding our work is increasingly community driven, which is a good thing. It does make it a little harder to predict timelines on things that we want to do. And it does make things a little bit more chaotic, but that's okay. This is a good problem to have, having everything being a little bit more community driven. So hopefully we're developing what the community wants instead of what we think they want. Also, the community is beginning to take up a larger percentage of the small issues, which we really appreciate. That's awesome. Quick update on Google's Summer of Code. We did submit 3 different project ideas to the CNCF, who in turn goes through some process, which I'm not really, I don't have a lot of insight into what that process is. I don't necessarily believe that all the ideas that we submitted make the cut. So I will try to find out more information about that, because I've got a lot of people asking me about this. There have been a lot of people, a lot of new contributors who have expressed interest in working with us for GSOC. And I'm sorry, I don't have great answers for most of those people right now, but I will talk to somebody at CNCF and find out what I can about timelines and when we can expect to know whether the ideas we submitted are actually becoming formal GSOC projects or not. Last time we met, I talked about the Git Basics for Brigade Contributors video. We had noticed that a lot of new contributors were also new to Git. A lot of our new contributors are students or early in career. And so some of the things that we are a little bit anal on with this project, things that we really insist on, like having signed commits, and verified commits, or that is to say commits that are GPG signed. That's not necessarily an easy thing for everybody to do if they're not super familiar with Git or not super familiar with the GPG suite. So we did put out a video to help people through that. It received positive feedback from a few new contributors who were helped by it. It received positive feedback from the maintainers of other projects who want to make use of the video. And it's even been suggested that we could genericize it and promote it as a helpful resource for people contributing to any and all CNCF projects. So the video was previously public but unlisted. I listed it as of today based on the positive feedback that was received. So it's out there for anybody to easily find and view now. Just a quick update on our security posture. Most of the last 2 weeks, and perhaps even prior to that, were consumed with security-related issues. We are very concerned about the security of the software supply chain, and we want to take all steps that we are able to take in order to make sure that the software that we're putting out there into the world is as secure as possible. So some of the things that we've started doing over the past few weeks, we now scan images as part of our CI process. So any image we build, we scan it. If any vulnerabilities are found, it doesn't automatically fail the build, but it does surface to us for informational purposes. So we're trying to take baby steps towards better software supply chain security here. So the idea is not necessarily that a vulnerability stops us from moving forward, but it's just an FYI at this point. We want to know about vulnerabilities that exist, and we want to be transparent about those. Now, that being said, we have used information that we've gleaned from those scans to go and address specific issues and further reduce the vulnerability. So this is information that we are acting on as we become aware of it. Also, as part of our release process now, we sign images and we also produce SBOMs. Those are software bills of material for those who aren't familiar, and we publish those to the GitHub releases page as part of each release. And just to fully vet that process, we, as of today, have cut release candidates of every peripheral, and a new release of Brigade itself is also pending. So when we see that this process is working out nicely across the board, we will cut actual releases of everything. We are going to be releasing a use case survey shortly that we would like community members who are using Brigade to fill out, to help give us a little more insight into how Brigade is being used, or perhaps into how you would like to use Brigade if it isn't currently addressing your needs. We want to hear about it. Karen is running point on that. I did see the survey that she created and it looks good to me, but I don't believe it's been disseminated to anybody yet. Just a few other items that are still pending. Brigade in 5 Minutes, episode 3 has still not been released. That's due mostly to the security work over the past 2 weeks that took precedence, and then also illness on my part. You may be able to hear that I don't sound right today. I've got a sinus infection that I'm recovering from. So I will again try to prioritize this over the coming weeks. I know I've been promising this episode 3 for some time, and I really hope to get it done before we meet again. Also, Google Analytics work is still pending. We are collecting all of the analytics, but we don't really have all of the right filters in place and everything yet to generate useful reports from those analytics. So that also is something that we've got to get done sooner rather than later. Also, George has promised a blog post about the cron event source, which went GA 2-3 weeks ago, I think. And that also has been delayed due to illness, but I believe he said he's back to coding today, and the blog post was one of his top priorities. So we should have a post about that soon. So that's all that we've got for today. Since we don't have anybody else in attendance, we obviously are not going to open the floor to um, discussion of other items. But hopefully we see more people 2 weeks from now when we have the occurrence of the meeting that is scheduled for the convenience of international contributors and community members. So thank you everybody for your time. If you have gone to YouTube and watched this video, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.